Good morning from the farmer's garden. I'm one of the farmers, Brandon's one of the farmers, and we're out in the greenhouse today. We are starting our seeds for cole crops. So this is going to be broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, basically our winter and spring vegetables. We have all the seed trays lined up here. We've got a whole pile of seeds, and so we're just going to kind of go through that process with y'all this morning and let y'all see how it goes. Alright, hopefully you can see everything. We have not even put dirt in the trays yet, so we're going to start there by filling these trays and getting ready to put some seeds in the ground. So basically we start out by just dumping the dirt across the top, and then we go back in and fill it, kind of press it down in there, make sure that each cell has dirt in it, level to the top. And we're going to do that for each of these trays that's out here. We have 11 trays today for 11 different types of seed.
Actually, I think it's 8 different types of seeds.
Is it 8 different seeds?
Yes, 8 different types. No.
So we've got spinach,
Some of them are getting multiple.
lettuce, kohlrabi, collards, kale, cauliflower, broccoli, and cabbage.
I'm just going to go through, I think, and drop some.
Yeah, just dump some over and I'll start putting them. Oh, I need the jacket in here to go off. This part is obviously a very precise art. We have to fill up each tray exactly. Sarcasm, of course. Just filling those, spreading it across the top and letting it fall into each one. Any of them that are too low, we'll go back and add some more across the top. Looks like I might need a little more on these two.
Okay.
So these will be the seeds that we start for going into the garden at the end of February. Through the end of February. So we already have some of these crops in the greenhouse, mostly as experiments, and then these will be going actually into the garden when it warms up just a little bit. Of course, we've had a very mild winter so far, but in East Texas we kind of expect February to be the coldest month, and so we are planning for that. Last year obviously that was the case, but most of the time January and February tend to be our coldest months, so we're prepping for that. Kylie, can you help me fill this seed tray?
We're making seeds. We're making a seed.
We're making a seeds, that's right. We're getting ready to plant them.
We're ready to plant them.
Can you get us a little bit more, babe? There you go. Okay, I think that one's all full. What do you think, Kylie?
Not at the fall. And not at the fall.
It's not a full?
There's them out on it.
You're just like scooping the dirt. We'll scoop some more dirt later. Okay, so seed trays are filled now. Just kind of going in, pressing them down a little bit.
Not yet, baby.
Kind of packing them in there. We want the dirt to be nice and packed in these so that later when it's time to remove the plants or the plugs from the cells, they'll hold together better. Otherwise, this dirt will drop off of the roots and cause a little bit more shock when we move them than if the dirt was to stay together nicely.
Bigger coat.
Alright, so the cells are all filled now. Next is time to plant the seeds. There's a couple different ways you can do this. You can just take the seeds and individually place them, or this handy gizmo right here. So basically it's a little tray for the seeds to go in, and then the top has different size holes. You select which size hole is the most appropriate for the seed you're using, and then you can drop them out a little bit more easily along through there. So once the seeds are planted, then we go back and we cover them and water them. What do you want me planting and where?
Cabbage is right here already open, and just pick one more tray. Okay. It's okay if you do some there too.
These pelleted seeds roll much more easily than the regular seeds. Maybe the second one of these videos.
Is that a herd?
That was a herd. Was the fence on?
I think so.
You reckon that's why she's screaming?
Maybe.
Okay, so after I plant these, Brandon is covering them in perlite. You want to tell them about the perlite?
So the perlite is there. One, it's an easier covering for the seeds to break through. So with these smaller seeds, it'll make it easier for them to break through and come on up. Plus, it helps kind of make sure the water gets down there and helps keep it moist so that the seeds will be able to germinate really well.
So it's almost like tiny mulch for seeds.
Yes, and it'll also kind of help with mold growth, kind of keep the mold down.
Mold is actually an issue that we have fought as long as we have been starting our own seeds, mostly because East Texas is such a humid climate anyway, and so if you watch the weather and you watch the pollen counts and the mold counts and all, our mold around here is high most of the year. And then you add in the greenhouse, which is a more humid and warm environment. We just fight that a lot. It'll form like a skim cover over the top of each of the cells, and that can affect our plant growth. These are 72 cell trays. So, if all goes to plan, we'll have 72 plants in each of them to put out. I'm not certain how many plantings of each we're going to do. Some of that kind of depends on how well they're doing and how well they're selling. And then if we have more than we need, we'll also be selling some of these as plant starts for anybody that's just going to grow their own garden this year. And we'll also be doing that with tomato plants later in the year. It's not really time to be starting those just yet. And it won't be long. And then hopefully we will have some flower starts as well for the flower beds. Trying to make the most bang for our buck with the greenhouse. By kind of branching out and covering a couple of different things, not only starting our own seeds, but also providing some to the public. Alright, let's see if I can show you how this goes. So we got tiny little seeds in here, and the idea is to let them fall. Not sure how well you can see that, or if you're even looking in the right place. Trying to get one per cell. Go. So these are dropping in. Broccoli. Oops. And once I get them all planted in here, that's when Brandon comes back through with the perlite, and then we will water over the top of them to make sure everything is nice and moist so that we get good seed moisture, good soil contact, and get a good germination rate.
Hey, look at me.
If you've ever wondered what lettuce seeds look like, there you go. Those are lettuce seeds. And I am not actually looking forward to planting those. These are going to be kind of a trick, even with the planter, because they're long and skinny. Okay, our battery died when we were like this close to done this morning, so the camera's been charging, and I'm just going to show you how we wrapped all this up. So Brandon finished putting the perlite over everything. Everything is labeled, and we have moved them over onto this table where we have some grow lights. Now the grow lights are not super important since we are in the greenhouse, but we are going to be timing so that the plants have a little bit more day length than they would normally, since it is winter time and so we do have shorter days. So we've got those set up. The only other thing that I wanted to touch on is kind of our cost of growing the plants. So we have learned that starting plants is a little bit cheaper for us in the long run than buying started plants. And it does have better success than putting seeds directly into the ground. But because we are still small scale, we still buy all of our input, all of our soil, the perlite he put over the top, fertilizer when it comes time for that. All of those things are purchased small scale, the same way you would purchase them if you were going to the store. So small bags of potting soil, small bags of the perlite. We do not have enough need yet to buy in bulk, and so that means that our cost is a little bit higher than it would be for a commercial nursery where they would buy a truckload of potting soil or a larger quantity of fertilizer. Also, fertilizer is just going up this year. It just is. So this is a good time for us to let you know we are doing our best to keep prices reasonable, but this is a business, and so we have to kind of price accordingly. So we are watching our inputs. We are watching things like fertilizer cost, seed cost, all of those things. But basically we can't make any promises that our prices will be the same as they were last year. if we can, we will. Otherwise, we'll have to go up just like everybody else. It's just an unfortunate reality for us this year. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching us plant seeds. I hope you learned a little bit of something today. Enjoyed your visit to the farm. Y'all be sure and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and come back when you can stay longer.